All right, for this one, do the exact same thing. Pause it, see if we end up with the same answer. 3 over x. Times 2, 1.8. So I'm going to guess. Is this 1.8? Oh, you can't see the decimal point. Okay, 9 divided by 5. It is 1.8. All right, now some of you may have learned this a different way, so I just want to show this before I move on to another type of problem. If I use the larger, smaller side, I'm kind of always, I have my larger sides on the top, my smaller sides on the bottom, but there's also another way that you can do it. You can set your proportions up so that you have your larger shape over on the left or right, doesn't matter, but then the other side of the equal sign has your smaller shape. So this is what I mean. And it might be easier for you to set up your proportions. If you're not getting the same answers as me, keep in mind you're setting up your proportions incorrectly, which is very easy to do. So keep your wits about you. So what I'm going to do is this. For example, I look at my smaller shape here and I see what's unknown. I have x is unknown. And if I look at right next to it, I've got like x and 3. So what I'm going to do for my smaller shape is I'm going to put x and 3. And what I'm doing is I'm picking this side right here. See if I can circle it. Get close. Yep. This side right here and this side right here. And then I'm going to look at the corresponding sides up here and notice I've got 3 and 5. So that's this thing right here and this guy right here. So I'm going to do 3 and 5. Now, even though I've set up a different proportion, I will still get the same answer for x. Just watch. See, that's all we need to do. I hate erasing this. I hate the lights in my face. Also, I would like a holster, like an arm holster or like a holster for markers. I have always wanted a holster for markers, so let's just be honest. For our next problem, they're all story problems. The easiest way to take care of these is to pay attention to your units. Determine what units are going to go where, and then make sure they line up. So here I've got Lena. She drove 660 miles in 12 hours. So I'm going to write that here. I'm going to call this example 1 because I'm not going to erase them all as I go. So 660 miles in 12 hours. So I just set up a proportion like that. So they're saying at the same rate, which that's my rate, miles per hour, how long will it take her to drive 495 miles? All right, well, which side is the miles? Is top miles or is bottom miles? Yes. The top is miles. So I'm going to set 495 here, and then I'm just going to use a variable to represent my hours. Don't worry about your units when we cross multiply. What we are going to do is just cross multiply and solve. So I'm going to take that cross product. So I'm going to have 660x equals to this cross product. Whatever 495 times 12 is, oh yeah, 5,940. Why didn't I just know that? Now we need to solve this for x. So divide both sides by 660. And you get x equals 9. Now remember, where were your units? We're looking for x. X was in the what spot? It was in the hour spot. So your answer is 9 hours. Don't forget to put your units in your answer or Alex will tell you that you're wrong. Let's take a look at the next problem. And remember, I'm going to leave this one here. Oh, you can't see that at all. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to leave it up. That's not going to happen. Never mind. I just lied to you. I'm not going to leave it up. The longer I leave it up, the harder it is to erase. Also, it is extremely warm in this room. It's these lights. All right, so Maya made $204 for 12 hours of work. At the same rate, how much would she make for 7 hours of work? So let's write that down. Look at our first part, $204 for 12 hours of work. Then we want to see what else she's going to make and when. At the same rate, that's the rate right here, how much would she make for 7 hours of work? The thing that we know is the hours. So 7 hours we know. We don't know how much she earned. So we're going to find our cross products and set them equal to each other. So I'm going to guess 14,028, but I think that's wrong. Oh, 14,000. It was wrong. 1,428. Okay, 1,428. And I'm going to set that equal to 12x. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 12 and find that unknown value. It's just dry and hot and I'm dehydrated. I promise I'm not getting you sick. Of course I'm not getting you sick. This is a video. All right, when I divide everything out, I'm going to have x equals $119. Don't forget, that's the unit that you are looking for. All right, for your next problem, go ahead and set it up, hit pause, and unpause it when you're done. Let's see if we get the same answer. So I'm going to take that top sentence, 605 miles in 11 hours. At the same rate, how long would it take him to drive? 495 miles. How long means I don't know what this is. So I'm going to find my cross products. I'm going to get 605 times x equals 5,445. I need to solve that for x. So I'm going to divide both sides by 605. And I end up with x equals 9 hours again. Is that the same problem that we did before? Wait. No. That was 660 and 12. So you can see by the amount of information that they've given us that this is a different problem. It's still a story problem. It's still a proportion problem. We have to keep our wits about us again because we have different information. Petrol and motor oil is a combination of natural and synthetic oil. It contains 4 liters of natural oil for every 7 liters of synthetic oil. In order to make 946 liters of petrol and oil, how many liters of the synthetic oil are needed? All right, so let's write everything down. Okay, so if we look at what they've given us, they've said, all right, here I've got petrol and oil. It's a combination of natural and synthetic. Now they say it contains 4 liters of natural, so 4 liters of natural for every 7 liters of synthetic. Now it says in order to make 946 liters of petrolene oil, so here's petrolene, that's the combination. In order to make 946 liters of petrolene oil, how many liters of synthetic oil are needed? Oof. All right. So if you think about this as a table, it's a little bit clearer. So if I've put together 7 liters of synthetic with 4 liters of natural, how many liters of petrolene did I really make? That's right. Now, they didn't say anything about the natural, so I'm actually not going to use this. Instead, what I'm going to use is this synthetic fact here and this petrolene fact here. If I take it as a table and I look at the complete facts, I've got this right here as a complete fact, and then this is what I'm looking for. So this is actually the proportion I'm going to set up. I'm going to take 11 over 7, and I'm going to set it equal to 946 over x. Now I'm going to find their cross products and set them equal to each other. And then in order to solve for x, I'm going to divide both sides by that 11. I got 602. All right, now remember, this is liters, and I'm looking for liters of synthetic. So it's 602 liters of synthetic. So I call these problems, these are proportional problems with totals or some type of combination. And it's that first part right there where they say petrol and motor oil is a combination of natural and synthetic. So that's what we're going to look for in our wording. Take a look at the next problem. See how this falls into the same category. Oh my God. Hate erasing this. And it sounds like that light on top, the one that I don't like, is going to come down and beat me for saying how much I don't like it. Oh. I don't know if you can hear that. Someone's calling my phone. Super cool. Just erase this really quick. This is definitely another one of those problems. Notice I've got yes votes, I've got no votes, and I have total votes. So the residents of a city voted on whether to raise property taxes. The ratio of yes votes to no votes is 4-3. So here I've got yes, and here I've got no, and I've got yes votes to no votes is 4-3. And then next they tell me that there's a total, so I know I've got a total here. I've got a total of 6,461 votes. And then they want to know how many yes votes were there. Again, when we write this out, if we think of this as a table, we look to see the facts that we have. If my votes are 4-3, yes and no, that means when all my yeses and no votes, I have 7 votes. If I combine the facts that are complete, I would say I'm going to have 4 to 7 equals whatever this yes vote is to my total votes. Again, notice that my no votes, this value here, this is a trick value. I'm not even going to use it. They're just dangling it out there to see if you'll take a bite. All right, let's go ahead, set our cross products equal to each other, and see what we get. Okay, in order to solve that, I'm going to divide everybody by 7. All right, so let's remember what we're trying to find. We're trying to find the number of yes votes. So this is 3,692 yes votes. I'd like to say I noticed over the weekend I was looking up some promotional videos for this light board, and no one does a sales video on this and includes the erasing part. There's a reason. Always test drive. Always test drive. The ratio of men to women working for a company is 6 to 5. If there are 115 men working for the company, what is the total number of employees? So look at our information. Notice we have the women, men, and the total number of employees mentioned. So the ratio of men to women is 6 to 5. Well, okay. Now they say that there are 115 women working at the company. And then they want to know, what's the total number of employees? Well, that's what we don't know. So this total we know. If I'm just looking at the ratio, 5 to 6 means I have a total of 11 employees. And if I look at my complete facts, I've got my complete facts here. Comparing women to this. Again, we're not going to use these values for our proportions. We're just using them to fill up the table. So I'm going to take 5 over 11, and I'm going to set that equal to 115 over x, because I don't know how many total employees there are. I'm going to set their cross products equal to each other. It's so hard to see anything in here. All right, 5x equals 1,265. I'm going to divide both sides by 5. And I get x equals 253 total employees. All right, don't forget what your answer is, and make sure that you include the units that you need. Merry Apocalypse. This is the end of this video. I'm about to start touching the rest of the room and do my editing. Stay safe, folks. Watch the next video. By the way, if you need a drinking game during the apocalypse, you can watch my math videos and drink every time I say okay or so. No, don't do that. You'll be really drunk. Okay. Oh, see?